Reasons to Stay Alive by Matt Haig, Finding Light in the Darkness. Matt Haig never intended to become a voice for mental health awareness. Before writing Reasons to Stay Alive, he was known primarily as a novelist. But at age 24, while living in Ibiza with his girlfriend, Haig found himself standing at the edge of a cliff, contemplating ending his life. This moment, when he chose to step back, became the starting point for his deeply personal memoir about his battle with severe depression and anxiety. Published in 2015, Reasons to Stay Alive is Haig's raw and honest account of his journey through the darkest period of his life and his gradual path toward recovery. He wrote this book not as a self-help guru or mental health professional, but as someone who had lived through the experience and wanted to extend a hand to others trapped in similar darkness. The Descent Haig describes the onset of his depression with visceral clarity that resonates with anyone who has experienced similar struggles. One of the most powerful moments in the book is his description of his first panic attack, which struck without warning in a busy supermarket. Suddenly, the world wasn't just neutral, it was malevolent. It wasn't just meaningless, it was hostile. The floor slipped, the ceiling grew taller, the air became soup. My body wasn't my body. Inside my mind, I wasn't looking out from the same vantage point. I was different. I was mad. I was nowhere. He recounts how his depression transformed familiar activities and places into insurmountable challenges. Simple tasks like leaving the house or talking to a stranger became terrifying ordeals. In particularly moving passages, he describes how time itself seemed to change. Depression stretches time. A morning can feel like a decade. The weight of each second becomes a drag on your life. You are falling through the present into a future you cannot visualize. Haig doesn't shy away from describing the physical manifestations of his mental illness. He details the insomnia, the weight loss, the racing heart, and the constant dread that accompanied his depression. In one of the book's most honest admissions, he recounts how he couldn't even read during this period, a devastating loss for a writer who had always found solace in books. I couldn't read a book because books were things of the brain, and my brain was my enemy now. So I was stuck entirely in the present tense, trapped in a shut-down body in a new darkness. The path to recovery. Haig's journey toward recovery wasn't quick or straightforward. He emphasizes that there was no single turning point or magical cure, just a series of small steps forward and sometimes backward. He shares several elements that played crucial roles in his healing process. Understanding depression as an illness. Haig describes how shifting his perspective to view depression as a physical illness rather than a personal failing was essential. He explains, depression is an illness, yet it doesn't come with a rash or a cough. It's hard to see, which is why it's so hard to spot. So the stigma of depression exists. People still think those with depression are weak or lazy or self-indulgent. The power of time and patience. Throughout the book, Haig emphasizes that time itself was a healer. He learned to take each day, sometimes each hour, as it came. Once you have been through depression, you realize that it's not the feelings you need to worry about. It's the lack of feelings. When you're trapped inside yourself, the worst has already happened. Physical exercise. Haig describes how running became a form of therapy, providing a natural way to combat anxiety. I found that running, something I'd never been particularly interested in before depression, became a kind of medicine. A way out of my head. It helped to remind me I had a body, reading and writing. As he slowly recovered, Haig rediscovered reading as a lifeline. Books provided both escape and understanding. Eventually, writing about his experiences became therapeutic. As well, words for me were medicine. Books were medicine. Reading things and then later writing things gave the pain I felt a purpose. Connection and love. Perhaps most importantly, Haig acknowledges the life-saving role that love and connection played in his recovery. His girlfriend, now wife, Andrea's unwavering support gave him an anchor when he felt adrift. Love saved, not just romantic love, all love. The love of my girlfriend and of my family, the love of the stranger next door who smiled at me when I needed it most. Transformation through suffering. Haig's memoir poignantly illustrates how his experience with depression, though devastating, ultimately transformed his perspective on life. He explains that surviving depression gave him a kind of strength and appreciation he hadn't possessed before. I am stronger, I am more aware of my weaknesses and more able to turn them into strengths. I am also aware that I live with a disease that will try to kill me again, so I am prepared. I know what to look for and what to do when I see the signs. He describes how his priorities shifted dramatically after recovery. Small pleasures. Sunny day, a good book, a meaningful conversation took on profound significance. After coming close to death, trivial matters lose their power. Life becomes more vivid. After almost having life taken away from you, you realize how good it is to just be alive, to breathe, to exist. One of the most powerful aspects of the book is Haig's ability to find meaning in his suffering. He doesn't suggest that depression happened for a reason, but rather that he was able to extract value from the experience. The weirdest thing about a mind is that you can have the most intense things going on in there, but no one else can see them. The world shrugs. Your pupils might dilate, you may sound incoherent, your skin might shine with sweat, and there's almost no way anyone is going to truly understand what you are going through. It is a very lonely illness. This understanding helped him develop a profound empathy for others struggling with mental health issues, an empathy that infuses every page of the book. Words that resonate. For those facing their own battles with depression and anxiety, certain passages from the book stand as powerful reminders of hope. Depression lies. Depression makes you think things that are wrong, but the thoughts are also real. They exist, and you have to accept them and work with them and around them. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. As soon as you think, I am depressed, you have already separated yourself from it. And perhaps most powerfully, life is waiting for you. You might be stuck here for a while, but the world isn't going anywhere. Hang on in there if you can. Life is always worth it. He also offers practical advice for those trying to support loved ones with depression. If you are the loved one of someone with depression, don't give them a book about depression. Unless they ask, just listen to them. More than that, hear them. People with depression are not seeking advice. They are seeking a witness to their pain, a message of hope. Haig concludes his memoir with a powerful message of hope that avoids platitudes or easy answers. He acknowledges that depression might always be part of his life to some degree, but it no longer defines him. I am not cured. You don't get cured from depression. There is no finishing line. There is just recovery and management, living with it. But I am better, living better, managing better. I am almost back to the me I was before, but a different me. A me who has seen the darker corners of himself. For readers currently struggling with depression, Haig offers companionship rather than a prescription. He doesn't claim to have all the answers, but offers his story as evidence that even the deepest darkness can eventually give way to light. There is an old Japanese proverb which states that it is in the darkest times that you must focus on seeing the light. I am not sure that is entirely true. It is hard to focus on anything when you are depressed, but light exists even when you can't see it, and it is the same light that existed before. The book's title, Reasons to Stay Alive, becomes more meaningful as Haig shares his own evolving list of reasons. Books yet to be read, places yet to be visited, music yet to be heard, and people yet to be loved. His message is clear. While depression can make the future seem impossibly dark, there are countless experiences worth staying alive for, even if you can't see or feel them in your darkest moments. Haig's memoir stands as both a lifeline to those currently struggling and an invitation for society to engage in more honest conversations about mental health. By sharing his journey with such vulnerability and clarity, he reminds us that even in our most isolated moments, we are never truly alone, and that choosing to stay alive even when it seems impossible opens the door to a future we can't imagine during our darkest hours.